Hi guys, let's actually just jump right into it. This is what I'm working with at the moment, and I'll explain the backstory as I kind of go about trying to organize this. So this is a file that I received from a friend of mine. He's doing architecture. He's got a couple projects that he does, pretty sick, insane stuff. And recently he sent some of my renders on Blender, and he wanted to do a collab for one of his projects. And I told him, hey, look, I actually haven't really, I've never really done this before. Right, like architectural visualization. I've done some things for interior designs and stuff like that, but those were all things that I just designed myself. I've never worked with someone else's project. So I asked him just to like send me a quick project so that I can kind of work around with it, kind of see where I need to improve my skills, where I need to watch tutorials, all those kind of different things. Um, and yeah, texturing and all those kind of things. Already, right from jump, I can already tell that a I'm gonna need to kind of get into like um, environment design. Is that how you say it? Because this project is just I don't know where I'm going to put it. You know what I mean? Like the background and all those kind of things. I don't know how I'm gonna sort that out. I can kind of very quickly understand how I'm gonna texture this. It very detailed design. I think this is my first time working with something like this, and I'm kind of really impressed. The only thing that's really frustrating about this is that each of these are kind of set as individual items. And if anyone has ever worked with Blender, which I'm assuming you have if you were looking at this file, this kind of thing can be very frustrating. I mean, if somebody has ever worked with architectural projects, maybe you can leave a comment and advise me on how I might go about kind of grouping. So what I've done after like realizing that a lot of these things are just like really separate objects, what I've done is I've started grouping them. So I created chairs and tables and I moved everything into that so I can hide that roof material. This is I'm gonna show you guys that a bit later. Walls, I've kind of hid those. Glass, I've hid that. Road, what is that? Road. Oh, there's a road on the side. I'm just gonna show you again. This over here. This over here on the side. So I'm gonna hide that. Columns, I'm gonna hide those as well. Um, Roof material is this thing over here. Very frustrating again because each of these are separate items. And again, if you've ever worked with Blender, this kind of thing is a little frustrating to do, especially if I'm gonna have to texture this, which I will have to do eventually. But I'm gonna have to try and find a way to group them together. For now, I've moved them all to one thing, so maybe I can just select all of them in here and then merge into like one object and then just texture that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But that's the whole point of me doing this video. This is like the start of the project. This is what I got. The plants were a big issue for me, so I moved them to. Whoa. Oh yeah, I moved the plants into a different thing. So all these plants that are all over the place, I moved them to their own collection. Gonna hide that. I moved the trees into their own collection as well, hiding that. And slowly but surely, I'm just trying to group things that I know I'll roughly be texturing just around the same. Um, but it is proving quite a bit difficult. So this is where we're at. Again, really nice project. Um, yeah, let me just hide the building and then show you guys the stuff like the chairs and stuff. Here they are, all these different things. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a pain to sort out, but hey, here we are. Let me show you guys what I've been doing to add things into a collection, because fortunately they've been kind of named. So this I think I'd put this with the windows, right? Because I'll put them with the glasses. Okay, I didn't say windows, I said glasses because the sliding doors and stuff. So I think I'm gonna create a different thing and call it windows. Um, so what I do is I'm gonna search windows, or let's just say window, and then I'm gonna select all of this. Actually, I'm gonna select all and then just deselect these two. Move to a new collection. We're gonna call it Windows. Create and then hide. There we go. Again, like I'm just so surprised with how much detail and how intricate each of these things are. Because when I do my designs, it's never this intricate, and I think I might show in future maybe one of my designs that I've done. It's never this intricate. It's never goes into this much detail. And I guess this is where like the architectural things kick in, right? Like, because it has to be very specific measurements, all these kind of things. Even this thing over here on the side, I didn't know about it. What is this? This thing, which apparently they use to measure the different heights and stuff. I don't really need it in Blender. I don't think so, but I'm just gonna keep it just in case. I'll leave it there for now. But yeah, so that's how I've been grouping these things. Just do that. And then close, and then I move on to the next thing. So I want to organize it as best as I can so that when I'm rendering, I don't have as much trouble, or when I start texturing and stuff, I don't have as much trouble with it, as I might have if I don't know what is what, and if I just start selecting things one by one and trying to put materials on them and stuff. I feel like it's a lot better when you have them grouped. Then I can at least hide this and be like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna texture the walls, for example, right? Let's say I'm just gonna texture the walls, then I go about texturing the walls, all this stuff, and then I view it in conjunction with everything else, see what that looks like, then hide that, hide the walls, and then maybe say I'm working on the glasses, and then texture it with the building, see what that looks like, and then you know what I mean, as opposed to like just if everything is here and I'm just trying to like select one thing at a time and texture it one thing at a time and texture it, there might be opportunities that I miss out on where I could like group things together and texture it together. But anyways, that's a lot of flapping my gums, chatting. Let me get into this. I'm realizing I might have signed up for a lot more work than I expected. I just, but you know, I think it's gonna be fun. I enjoy doing this, so I think it's gonna be fun. Again, this is a really great project. In fact, I'm gonna show you guys what he sent me, his little renders. Um, I'm gonna show you those things real quick. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Just gonna have to share my other screen with you guys. I'm just gonna hide this one, show this one, and then that's there we go. So these are the pictures that I have. You know, I'm going to be improving on the realism of this because I think the texturing was good. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the textures with the project, so I'm gonna have to put my own textures and stuff like that. But that's fine. But this is roughly what I have to. He said I have to do better than this, which obviously makes sense because otherwise, why give me the whole project in the first place if I'm just gonna do exactly the same or worse off? But yeah, we're gonna find out if I even really can get it to this level or past this level. I think with Blender it should be fairly easy with how realistic it renders things. But then this might be a very heavy file when it comes to rendering. It might not be the most advisable thing, but we'll find out. I think that's also why I asked him to send me like any project that he has at the moment so that I can start seeing what the requirements are, whether I even can execute on it, what the limitations are going to be, things that we need to improve on, maybe things that he can help out on so that when I receive the file, it's a lot easier to work with. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's it for this one, I guess. Cheers, guys. Subscribe, like, and share, I guess. I don't care really.